The upscale Italian restaurant buzzed with conversation as 18 members of the Chen family crowded around a table meant for 16. My mother's 60th birthday, and everyone had shown up to celebrate, and to judge. I sat at the end, phone in hand, responding to messages from my development team. Launch day was in 3 days and we had one critical bug left. Ethan, tell everyone your news. My mother's voice rang with pride across the table. My older brother stood grinning. It's not that big a deal, but I got promoted to junior account manager at MetLife. 12% raise, off probation. The table erupted in applause. My father raised his wine glass. That's my son. 6 months out of college and already moving up. That's what a real career looks like. Alex, honey, put your phone away, my mother said, turning to me with disapproval. It's rude. Especially on my birthday. Sorry, Mom. Just handling work. Work. My father's voice dripped with skepticism. Your app thing? Alex, you're 28. Your brother has health insurance, a 401k, paid vacation. What do you have? He has a phone addiction, my cousin Jason laughed. What's so important? Someone need help restarting their phone. The table chuckled. I kept typing. Something like that. My Aunt Patricia leaned forward. Alex, sweetheart, your mother and I are worried. This app hobby, it's been 3 years. You're still in that studio apartment driving that old Civic. When will you accept reality? What reality? That apps are for tech geniuses at Google and Apple, not regular people. You went to state for graphic design. Maybe it's time to look for real jobs. I ran into Janet Morrison. Her design firm is hiring. Full benefits, Alex. I don't need. Don't need what? Stability. My father set down his fork, face reddening. Do you know how embarrassing it is when people ask what my youngest son does? I have to say he makes apps. They look at me like I raised a failure. I'm not a failure, Dad. Then what do you call living paycheck to paycheck at 28? Your brother has savings, investments, a career trajectory. You have a few apps nobody uses. My phone buzzed. My lead developer. Bug fixed. Ready for final review. I typed back. Perfect. Schedule the build for tomorrow. There he goes again. Uncle Mike threw up his hands. Can't put the phone down for 2 minutes. You're addicted to that thing, living in fantasy land thinking you're Steve Jobs. I'm not playing Uncle Mike. I run a company. The table went quiet, then Ethan laughed. A company? Come on, Alex. You're a solo developer. I have 17 employees. 17. My mother looked confused. Honey, what are you talking about? You work from your apartment. It's 400 square feet. Where are these employees? Some remote, some in our San Francisco office. My father exchanged glances with my uncle. San Francisco? Alex, this is concerning. Are you having some kind of episode? Should we worry about your mental health? I'm fine. You're clearly not. His voice rose. You're inventing a fantasy life because you're ashamed of your real one. Jason pulled out his phone. What's your company called? I'll prove it doesn't exist. Zenith Apps. He typed, then smirked. Okay, there's a website, but anyone can make that. This proves nothing. Check the App Store. Search Zenith Apps. Jason's smirk faltered as he scrolled. You have some apps. So what? How many downloads? Like 1,000. Our flagship app, Flow State, has 42 million downloads. Silence. 42 million? My mother whispered. That can't be right. Check for yourself. Jason's face went pale. Holy shit. Flow State, the productivity app that costs $12? That's yours. That's mine. My Aunt Patricia read from her phone, voice shaking. It says Flow State was named App of the Year by Apple in 2023. It has 4.9 stars from over 2 million reviews. Featured in Wired, TechCrunch, The Verge. Impossible, my father said flatly. If this were true, you'd have told us. I tried. At Thanksgiving, I mentioned Flow State hit 10 million users. You said, that's nice, and asked Ethan about insurance sales. Christmas, I said we were hiring. You asked if I meant unpaid interns. Ethan's confidence crumbled. If you have 42 million downloads at $12, that's 504 million in gross revenue. Our net last year was about 180 million. My mother choked. $180 million. That's impossible, Uncle Mike insisted. You wouldn't be driving a 2015 Civic. I like my Civic. It's reliable. You wouldn't live in a studio. I own the building. 8 units. I live in one, rent out the others. Jason kept scrolling, hand trembling. Forbes called you one of the 30 under 30 in technology. TechCrunch profiled you. There's a Wikipedia page. This is a joke, my father said desperately. Some elaborate prank. It's not a prank. My phone buzzed. Reminder. Apple Keynote tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Final prep call tonight at 8 p.m. The restaurant's TV above the bar switched to a promo. Apple logo filled the screen. Apple's special event. Tomorrow 10 a.m. Pacific. Watch the future unfold. My cousin Sarah gasped. The Apple Keynote is tomorrow. They're announcing new iOS features. I heard they're partnering with app developers for exclusive integrations. The irony was almost painful. My mother turned to me, pleading. Alex, please focus on reality. These delusions about millions of dollars. This isn't healthy. Maybe you should talk to someone. I don't need a therapist, Mom. Then explain the studio apartment. The old car. If you're so successful, where's the evidence? I reinvest everything into the company. 3 apps in development, a team to pay server costs. I don't spend money on things that don't matter to me. Looking successful doesn't matter. Making your family proud doesn't matter. Making you proud has never been about actual achievement, Dad. It's been about visible markers. Ethan gets a junior position with health insurance, you throw him a party. I build an app used by 42 million people, you tell me to get a real job. Because we don't understand your work. My mother cried. Apps, code, downloads, it's not real to us. My potential is what? A mediocre designer at someone else's firm? I'm building something revolutionary. Revolutionary, Uncle Mike scoffed. You sound like every delusional kid with a startup dream. My phone buzzed insistently. The prep call started in 15 minutes. I have to go, I said, standing. Absolutely not. My mother stood too. It's my birthday dinner. Mom, I have a call I can't miss. Sorry. Happy birthday. I dropped $500 bills on the table. This should cover my portion. My father stared at the cash. Where did you get this? From my fake company with my fake revenue. I grabbed my jacket. Enjoy dinner. Alex, please. Ethan stood. Stay. We can talk about this. I've been trying to talk about it for 3 years. You weren't interested. I headed for the door. Watch the Apple Keynote tomorrow at 10 a.m. You might learn something. Sunday morning, 9:55 a.m. Pacific. I sat in the green room at Steve Jobs Theater in Apple Park wearing a dark blazer, wondering if I might throw up. Tim Cook had just finished his opening remarks. In 5 minutes he'd introduce new iOS features. In 7 minutes he'd introduce me. My phone exploded with texts. My mother. Alex, what did you mean about the keynote? Are you pranking us? I silenced it. A production assistant appeared. Mr. Chen? You're on in 3 minutes. She led me to side stage where I could see Tim Cook on the massive screen, thousands in the audience hanging on his words. iOS 18 represents our biggest leap forward in productivity and AI integration, Tim said. But we needed a partner who understood what users really needed. A partner who'd already built the world's most intuitive productivity platform. Which is why I'm thrilled to announce Apple's exclusive partnership with Zenith Apps. The audience murmured. Behind Tim, the Zenith Apps logo appeared. Sleek, minimalist, unmistakable. Flow State has revolutionized how 42 million people manage their work. And now we're bringing that magic directly into iOS. System-level integration. Siri shortcuts. Widget frameworks. Flow State will be pre-installed on every iPhone sold starting this fall. The murmur became a roar. Please welcome the founder and CEO of Zenith Apps, Alex Chen. I walked onto the stage, lights blinding, applause deafening. Tim Cook shook my hand, smiling warmly. Tell us about Flow State, he said, handing me the microphone. I looked out at the audience, developers, journalists, influencers, and began. 3 years ago I was working from a studio apartment, convinced productivity apps were doing it wrong. Too complicated. Too many features nobody needed. I wanted to build something different. Something that got out of your way and let you focus. Behind me, the screen showed FlowState's interface. My family thought I was wasting my time. They wanted me to get a real job. And honestly, I understood their concern. I was living on ramen, maxing out credit cards, taking every freelance gig I could find to keep the lights on while I built FlowState. The audience laughed knowingly. But I believed in the vision. And when we launched, something incredible happened. People got it. 1 million downloads in the first month. 10 million in the first year. Today, 42 million people use FlowState every day. And now, thanks to Apple's partnership, that number is about to explode. I demonstrated the iOS integration. How FlowState would weave seamlessly into the operating system, how Siri would understand context, how the AI would learn and optimize automatically. The crowd went wild. This partnership represents a $300 million deal, Tim added, returning to the stage. But more than that, it represents Apple's commitment to empowering developers who push boundaries. Alex started with nothing but an idea and determination. Now he's shaping how hundreds of millions of people will interact with their devices. More applause. Camera flashes. I stood on that stage, broadcast live to millions worldwide, and thought about my family watching in shock. The rest of the keynote blurred. Press interviews. Photo ops. Congratulations from tech legends. By the time I checked my phone, I had 217 missed calls. 43 from my mother. 31 from my father. 27 from Ethan. I called my mother first. She answered immediately, voice thick with tears. Alex. Oh my God. You were on stage with Tim Cook. The whole world was watching and you were. I tried to tell you, Mom. I know. Oh God, I know. Alex, I'm so sorry. We're all so sorry. We didn't understand. We thought. We were so wrong. I can't talk now, Mom. I have press interviews all day, then celebration dinner with my team. Tomorrow then? Please? Your father and I feel terrible. We've been horrible to you. I'll come by next week. But Mom, things are different now. I know, sweetheart. We'll do better. I promise. Ethan called next. Alex. Jesus Christ. I just watched you on stage at Apple. Do you know how big this is? I do. I've been working toward it for 18 months. And we had no idea. We were telling you to get a real job and you were about to announce a $300 million deal. I feel like the world's biggest asshole. You were kind of an asshole. I know. I'm sorry. Really, genuinely sorry. How do we fix this? You start by actually asking about my work. You start by treating my career as legitimate, even when you don't understand it. You start by respecting that different paths can lead to success. Done. Absolutely done. Can I take you out for a beer this week? I want to understand what you built. I'd like that. The next few days were a whirlwind. Press interviews. Partnership meetings. Strategy sessions with Apple's team. FlowState downloads hit 60 million. Our company valuation tripled overnight. Through it all, my phone buzzed constantly with family messages. Apologies. Congratulations. Requests to meet, to talk, to finally understand. They wanted back, and now that my success was undeniable, validated by Apple and worldwide recognition. But where were they when I was maxing out credit cards? Working 100-hour weeks? When I needed someone to believe in me. The following Sunday, I drove my 2015 Honda Civic to my parents' house. My mother rushed out like I'd arrived in a Bentley. Alex. Come in. Everyone's here. They all wanted to see you. The house was packed. Extended family who'd dismissed my career now jockeying for my attention. Uncle Mike pulled me aside immediately. Alex, I need to apologize. What I said about you being delusional, completely out of line. Also, my son's graduating next year. He's interested in app development. Maybe he could intern at Zenith. We have a formal internship program. Tell him to apply through the website. His smile faltered. Right. Through the website. I thought family connection might. Merit matters more than connections. My father approached, tears in his eyes. Alex. Son. Can we talk privately? In his study, he closed the door. I owe you an apology beyond words. I called you a failure. I question your mental health. I told you to accept your limitations. And all along, you were building something extraordinary. You did say those things. I was wrong. Completely wrong. I measured your success against Ethan's because I understood his path. Your path was foreign. Instead of trying to understand it, I dismissed it. Yes, you did. He flinched. Can you forgive me? Eventually, probably. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. You spent 3 years telling me I was wasting my life. That hurt. It still hurts. I know. Tell me how to fix this. Accept that conventional paths aren't the only valid ones. Ethan's insurance career is great for him. My app career is great for me. Neither is superior. They're different. Agreed. Absolutely. And stop measuring my success by visible markers. I like my small apartment and old car. That doesn't mean I'm struggling. It means I have different priorities. Understood. And most importantly, actually ask about my work. Not just now when it's famous, but always. Show actual interest, not just polite tolerance. My father nodded. I can do that. I will do that. I'm sorry it took Tim Cook saying so for me to realize you're extraordinary. We rejoined the family. Dinner was uncomfortable. Everyone walking on eggshells, trying too hard to show interest, asking questions that revealed how little they'd paid attention before. But it was a start. Ethan cornered me by dessert. So, $300 million deal with Apple. Does that make you the most successful, Chen? I considered it. Success isn't a competition, Ethan. You're happy in insurance. I'm happy in app development. We're all successful in our own ways. That's diplomatic. But you just changed the smartphone industry. Different, not more. Your work helps families protect their futures. That matters. My work helps people manage their time better. That matters too. Different scales, different impacts, both valid. He stared at me. You're way more mature than I gave you credit for. I've had 3 years of being underestimated. It teaches perspective. Fair. He clinked his beer against my water. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. I should have said that years ago. Thanks, Ethan. That means something. My phone buzzed. Notification. Flow State just hit 75 million downloads. I smiled, pocketed the phone, and rejoined my family. They'd never fully understand my world. The code, the servers, the design discussions that fascinated me. And that was okay. What mattered was respect. Recognition that my path, however unconventional, was legitimate. I'd built an empire from a studio apartment. I'd changed how millions of people worked and lived. I'd partnered with the world's most valuable company. And I'd done it all while my family told me to get a real job. The irony would never stop being funny. But at least now they'd finally stopped laughing.